everyone, welcome back to my channel, Conquer College Admissions. For those of you who are viewing my video for the first time, hello. My name is Julie Kim and I am a USC and Harvard graduate, now mentoring high school students to use their passion and their interest and their strength to get accepted into their dream Ivy League and top tier. I've been running this YouTube channel for a really short amount of time, but I'm getting so much views and engagement from all of you guys, and that just confirms how much of this information is needed for high school students. And it's not about helping students craft like a fake resume or portfolio or anything like that. For me, I want my students to be happy, fulfilled, motivated, passionate, and just grow as a person who has big dreams, who's willing to put in the work and try hard, and sort of use that to wrap it all up and apply to Ivy League and top tier. And I recommend this strategy because that's exactly how I got in, and that's how so many of my students got accepted as well. And I didn't have the best SAT scores. If anything, it was like not a good score at all, but I was still able to get accepted into a school that wanted a higher score. Likewise, for my grad school, my GRE scores weren't that high, but I got into Harvard. So I just know that it's more than the numbers, and that's why we hear stories like, oh, I got, waitlisted or rejected, even with high stats. And that's because, who you really are is not being clearly demonstrated, and you're just not being real and authentic with yourself. So basically, what I thought I would do today is to just sit down and chat with you guys and reintroduce myself to you so that we can just learn more about each other, and you can also learn why I do the work that I do and what my story is, because I think I didn't really get a chance to sit down and have like a chat with you guys about my life and my academic journey and how I ended up doing the work that I'm doing now. Like all of those things I just sort of skipped, I feel like, and I just went into, okay, I need to share all these content and examples and information with you. So today, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I am a Korean American and I currently live in Los Angeles, and I immigrated to the United States when I was in second grade. So second, third grade, around there. And we immigrated because my parents just wanted, better education for us and just better future for, and better future for our family. And when I immigrated to America, I didn't speak any English, and I just didn't even know like my ABCs. Like that's how clueless I was. And back in Korea, I used to just love learning and being out there, being a leader. I just really love that about myself. But as soon as I came to the United States, because of the language barrier, I just had to stop all of those things because I just couldn't do them. And so I started to gradually lose my confidence because kids would make fun of me and call me a Bob. Other kids would say that like I should go back to my country, or like there are times when I would pronounce words incorrectly and like they would laugh at me, or like there were just a lot of these things that I've had to go through and experience as an immigrant student. And I'm not blaming the system, I'm not blaming anyone, that's just what I went through. And so as an Asian American student, I saw my parents work really hard to support our family financially. And so for me, it was really important that I live up to their standards and that I am a proud daughter and I study what I need to study, all of those things. And so I studied hard, I worked hard in high school. And then one other thing that really hindered my capacity or like lowered my confidence is that I started to gain a lot of weight in high school. So I was very insecure, and I always felt like I was fat. Meaning I always felt like I was never pretty enough. And then I wasn't like the smart kid. And like there was this one time when I was a junior, I was in my English class, and there were like all these smart kids, and I remember like they were my friends, but then they were like the smart kids. So basically, like, we were supposed to do a group project, and then they ended up just like doing the group project alone, and then just like totally left me out. But like I was sitting like right next to them too, and that made me feel really stupid again, because it was like, oh wow, they think I'm not smart, so they're not including me. And like those series of events of like being excluded, or being known as the, you know, not pretty girl or fat girl, or, you know, all of those things, started to, you know, give me a lot of that insecurity that I've held on, like up until college years and a little bit of grad school as well. So basically, in high school years, I, you know, still worked hard. I wasn't like, oh, I'm miserable, like I'm just gonna give up. I wasn't like that, but I got accepted into really good UCs, and I couldn't go because at that time my visa was not my visa, but I was, you know, under an international student, and then so, you know, as an international student, you have to pay a lot of tuition and things like that. So I had to go to community college for a little bit, because like that was the only way that I could get educated. So I've experienced community college, I've experienced UCLA, I've experienced USC, I've experienced Harvard, all of it. And during the time when I was attending community college, I also felt very victimized. Like, why do I need to come here? Like, right? Like, I'm not rich, I'm not pretty, I'm not smart, you know, all of those things. But looking back, if it weren't for me, if it weren't for that experience that I had, I would have never really mastered how to study. Like, I learned how to study well in community college and UCLA. Like, it wasn't during my high school years at all. So I try to teach that to my students now. And of course with like all the other knowledge that I've gained throughout the years. So yeah, and then I went to UCLA, and UCLA was not a good fit for me because, you know, majored in economics, business economics to be more specific, and I was like taking statistic classes, calculus classes, game theory classes, nothing that had to do with like real life skills where I would be able to like learn something and take it outside and apply it right away. And everyone is different, but for me, I just really liked, you know, learning tangible skill sets that's like applicable somewhere, like immediately. And I love like putting myself out there. I love communication, speaking, all of those things. And so I dropped out of UCLA, and I remember like that day clearly, I called my dad and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna drop out. And I felt like a failure, right? Like Asian girl, like this, I have to be like this perfect person, smart person, but then, you know, I left. So I took a year off, and then I went to USC after, and USC was a good fit for me. I mean, there are pros and cons to everything, and so maybe I could do another video about that. And then I went to Harvard University for a master's in education, because I learned and explored what my calling is in life. And it wasn't like, a lot of people think like, oh, I found my passion, and I think high school students think, oh, like how come I can't find it? It's not a matter of going out there and finding it, it's all within you. It's just a matter of you asking some really hard questions and being really honest with yourself and understanding what is it that makes me happy, what is it that makes me fulfilled. And to me, it was always teaching, it was always education. And because I've experienced the power of education in the United States, because in Korea, you are very limited when it comes to education. So you have to take this test called sunung, and you just take that once, and then that determines where you go for college, period. And like you're already like set with the major, so like you can't really change it. You like literally go into like med school, like from high school years. So very inflexible, and your college just depends on this one test. Like, can you imagine your SAT score being like an indicator of where you can get into and where not? It's very different from the United States anyway. So because I've seen that contrast, I'm just really grateful for my experience in the United States and just being able to learn English and speak Korean fluently, like all of those things I'm so thankful for. Because if I didn't immigrate here, I would not be doing this. I would have never gone to Harvard. I would have never mentored my kids, you know, students that I have right now. And I'm so thankful for all of my students and my team members and everything. I just and I felt like I've never really shared this journey with you. And to be really honest, when I was in college and in Harvard, I was still a little bit feeling like I didn't have the confidence. And when I shared this with my friends or my students, because I really open up to my students a lot, is like people are like, oh, you got into Harvard, so like wasn't it like the best time of your life? And I was like, actually no, because I was still lacking that insecurity that I had and that confidence that I had. And so I've struggled a lot when I was there as well. Like academically it was amazing, but because of the insecurities that I've held on to for a really long part of my life, I never felt good enough and things like that. And right now, you know, obviously if you've been following me, I run my own business. I have people working for me. I'm making an impact. I am creating courses. I'm talking about mindset, college admissions, everything. For me to get to this place, it took a lot of reading. It took a lot of self-exploration. It took a lot of just being really honest with myself and always learning and learning and learning. And that's why I always talk about, like, I want you to be healthy. I want you to be passionate. I want you to be interested. I want you to be curious, because I've personally went through what it means to just do something just because, and then feeling empty later on. And when I talk to my friends, like some of them do tell me like, oh, like, you know, I just go to work and come back home, and then like I still don't know what is it that I really want to do or what makes me happy. And I believe that I have the power to help future generation to really explore their interest and passion and make this world a better place. Like I truly believe in that. So yeah, I just felt like that entire storyline was never shared in one single video. So it took a little bit of like, you know, vulnerability on my end, but I'm totally fine with sharing everything with you in all honesty, because I believe that transparency is important. And I want you to know that not everyone you see on social media and YouTube who are successful, who went to good schools, are always happy 100%, confident 100%. It takes work, but that work is so worth it because you're ultimately doing it for yourself, right? So yeah, I just feel so good like sharing all of that in this video. And maybe I could do another video about like growing up as an Asian American, specifically Korean American later on. But today, that's what I want to share with you. My last piece of advice to you is to do what matters to you. Don't worry too much about other people's opinions. Don't worry too much about how they will perceive you, because you might think, oh, my friends are like always judging me and things like that. Like, trust me, they're not thinking about you 24/7. You think you are the center of the universe, but you're really not. Like, everyone's busy doing their own stuff. And I don't want you to look back a few years later in your life and think, oh, I just care so much about other people that I feel so like empty. So do what feels you and fulfills you and makes you happy, and use that to select your extracurriculars and to prepare for this college admissions journey. And another piece of advice is to aim high. Go for the schools that seem scary to you. Do it, go for it, plan it out, work on it, show up every day. There will be good and bad days, but you just gotta get back up from the bad days, and then there will be good days. Life is not always perfect, happy, shiny all the time, but it's a matter of you getting back up and deciding what is it that is important to you. And yeah, I think the time that we have on this earth is very limited. So what I am challenging you to do is to live your purpose and plan this journey, college admissions journey, with more clarity, confidence, and fulfillment. Because if that's the way that you navigate this journey, you're gonna get better results, you're gonna get accepted into more places, you're gonna be a student with full of wisdom and perspective. Yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to connect with me, I have so many resources for you: Facebook group, our podcast, one-on-one strategy sessions, and obviously our course, Ivy League Top Tier Bootcamp. All of those links will be in the description box below. And if you are watching this, please share with me who you are too. I would love to get to know you in the comment box. And yeah, I'll be back here with another video very soon. Have a good day. Bye.